2020 has surely been a challenge for us all. And when we think about moving through challenges, we first think we've got to be resilient. We have to stay strong. But in order for change to take place and for us to create that movement, it first requires self-awareness. Change does not happen without first self-awareness. So the first step in becoming more self-aware is to notice ourselves more, notice our relationship to how we feel, our reactions when challenges come up, whether it's a challenge at home, at work with our colleagues or our boss, or in our relationships. And once we notice it, the second step is to name it. And what I mean by that is, what's the feeling? I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm feeling impatient, I feel disrespected. Once we actually name it, it loses power over us. And the last step is to actually, what I call the 3 A's. Either allow yourself to have the emotion, give yourself the time, whether it's you time box it, like for 20 minutes, I'm gonna be really angry. I'm gonna let myself get angry because then it's moving through me. The second is to ask questions to yourself. What am I most challenged with? What am I not saying in this moment that needs to be said? Where can I take responsibility that I haven't been? What do I most need? And the last is action. What action can you take? What's one small step? And I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, step outside for a change of scenery. Because once we shift our state of mind, other things begin to shift. And remember, movement doesn't always have to be forward. Movement can also be going downward, learning more about ourselves, becoming more self-aware. So as you go through this year and you start to bounce back more and more and more, remember the 3 steps to self-awareness. Notice it, name it, and take action.
Wow, this has been quite a year. Economic meltdown, global epidemic, no more shaking hands. For some people that had to do with the virus, for some it was running out of toilet paper. All I knew was that having survived the 90s rave scene, I was not going to be felled by a virus named after a light beer. Well, not only have we all had to face the challenge of the virus, each one of us has had to face specific challenges in our own lives. Perhaps it's your relationship, your career, your finances, well, whatever it is, how do we bounce back? Well, the truth is the brain has a natural bounce back mechanism. You just think of any difficulty, challenge, trauma that you've been through in the past that you're now over. Well, what happened? Kubler-Ross says there's 5 stages that we may need to go through to heal. First is denial, then anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. Acceptance is where the healing is. Anything that you are over, you've accepted. So here's a question that I like to ask when I'm finding myself not so accepting, a little resisting what's going on, right? Causing even more suffering for myself. I ask myself, can I deal with this? The truth is, if you're here, you're already dealing with it here. But somehow by answering that in the affirmative, saying, yes, I can deal with this. This is reality, because it's only when we accept reality can we recreate reality. It's only when we allow what is can we move on to something better. That's how we bounce back.
And I was burned almost to death. 60% of my body burned. You'd never want to experience that.
Well, the pressure's really on now for John Register from the USA. 5.57, the mark to beat.
It is your choice to jump.
The best thing that ever happened to David was Goliath.
As not what happens to you, but what can you learn from those situations that's going to make you even stronger, that is going to make you even smarter.
Because the person has to make that individual commitment themselves.